On the go? Download the free andrewhogue.com iPhone and Android app so we'll never be apart.
I think I can see now. Alrighty, rock and roll. I can't see. I can only see half your head.
There you go.
Alrighty, now I can see your leg.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty, let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. This is AndrewHogue.com, still Australia's only 24/7 metal radio station, and here with my good friend Martin Mendez. Of course, not here just to talk about Opeth stuff. We're here to talk about his new project called White Stones. The new album is set for release on the 27th of August. It's called Dancing into Oblivion. It's album number 2. And I know Martin has composed all the songs on the album, but of course he's got bandmates to play the songs. But let's make him welcome to the program. Hello, Mr. Mendez.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. And how's things in your world and lockdown? I know this is kind of an old topic now because we didn't realize we'd all be in this long. But how's it been for you, being a touring musician, being stuck home for almost 2 years?
Well, I mean, it's a bit frustrating for sure, because with Opeth we released the new album and the last album, and then we just had the opportunity to do the 3 small legs of the tour, and then we had to stop. So we still have a lot to tour for the album, but other than that, I mean, it's been good for me because I think I took advantage of the time and I started to writing all this new album for White Stones, and I had the time to record it and do everything you have to do for release an album. So in that sense, it's been perfect.
And it has been a blessing, as I mentioned, for a lot of bands who have home studios just to get creative, considering that, you can't get out on the road. And the last White Stones record didn't feel like that long ago that it came out. And now you're back with the brand new one. So, as I mentioned, you've written all the sort of music. Is this a good outlet for you away from Opeth? Because Mike's always been the main songwriter for that group. So how is this for you, being able to take control in your musical world and come up with your own stuff?
Well, I think it's great for me. I kind of realized that when I released the first album, I knew always I had the need to do stuff on the side. I always been doing it, but never kind of finish anything. So this time I wanted to do something proper and record it and have it done. And I realized it's very important for me as a musician, as the person, to have a project to express myself 100%. And it's sort of a therapy, maybe, something like that, to keep going the way we do with Opeth, because we tour a lot and it's a big band, so you have lots of things to do with the band. So for me, musically, it's perfect to do this on the side. It makes me feel better as a human and as a musician. So it's perfect.
And as I mentioned about, Mike being the main songwriter. So do you feel like this has been a really good, I guess, outlet for you on the metal sense? Because we know Opeth's musical style has definitely dramatically changed over the last, I guess, decade. Still heavy, still very progressive, but this has a lot more metal-related origins to it. So do you feel like this kind of got you back to your kind of metal roots because you're making metal that you dig?
Well, no. To be honest, it's not because of that. With Opeth, as I said, we tour a lot and we still playing every night the old ones, the old death metal songs. So it's not like I'm missing playing death metal at all. But this, I don't know, it came natural because I think death metal or more extreme metal is what I've been playing the most in my life. So it was an easy choice, I guess, to start doing this style of music. So no, it's not because I'm missing anything with Opeth or something like that. It's just it came that way.
And finding the musicians for White Stones, was that difficult for you? Because it's a full-fledged band and it's not always easy to commit to finding other musicians when you're also in an established band that tours so much like you do with Opeth. Was it hard to find members to pin down for you to create this band?
Well, it's been pretty easy because of when I started this project, it was just me, and then I was adding like the other guys one at a time. At the first, I didn't have an intention to release anything with this band, so I was taking my time and I did all the guitars and the bass and then I hired a drummer and then I asked he was my neighbor at the time, Eloy, to try to sing. So it's all guys from the area, It's kind of friends from a long time ago. They have a band here also. So it's been pretty easy in that sense because they are from the area, as I say, and then I didn't have a hard time to get everything at once in a certain time. It was one at a time and without a rush. So yeah, it was pretty easy in that sense.
Now, during this, and I hate to use the word lockdown, it's just so negative, but we are in some pretty shitty times. But what's one thing you've learned during this time that's really resonated with you?
Well, I think as society, everybody has a lot to learn, especially when I see the reactions people can get from the news or the fake news or whatever it is, and personally, I notice myself as well. I kind of learned that you need to have more patience with other people, and and don't judge anybody because of their choices. Um, at least here it's been really rough with people like you know some people support the face masks, some not, and some with the vaccine and all that stuff, and it's like a kind of internal war with the people, in that sense, and it's pretty boring, and I think it will be good to everybody to learn a little bit to have more patience and I don't know, and listen to each other maybe a bit more. I don't know.
Now, you're so used to just endless airports and travel and delays. Do you miss touring?
Yes and no. I mean, it's been a nice year off for me, or a year and a half now. But of course, this is what we do, and we need to get on tour as soon as possible to start working again. But yes, I mean, I love playing live. I'm not gonna lie, I love doing shows. But it's been also good to be at home for this long, to have the opportunity to do this record and to be with my kids and my family for such a long time, which is not the most common otherwise. So yeah, it's both yes and no.
And may I ask you to just adjust your webcam, Mr. Mendez? I'm only seeing half your head.
There you go.
So when it comes to the music of White Stones and if and when all this stuff will lift, is this going to be something you're going to do some shows for? You want to treat this as a live band as well?
Well, that will be nice to present the band live because we haven't done it yet. I'm not sure about touring, but for sure I will love to do some festivals and some shows here and there. But I don't know about touring. It all depends, of course. I'm pretty busy with Opeth, so I don't want to kill myself touring, But yeah, I will do something for sure.
Look at Shane Embry when he did the, I think it was Napalm, Brujeria, and Lockup. He did 3 sets.
Yeah.
The Grind Badger. Now, let's talk a little bit about Opeth. I know, like I said, Mike is the main visionary, but how's it coming along? Is it kind of completed? Can you say much about it?
No, I mean, that's the way it's always been. It's great.
Yeah.
There's no reason to change that.
Yeah. So how's it sounding? Is it sort of is stuff complete now? Is a record already in the works, or is he still working on the album?
Hey, no. I mean, now I think it's been working in something else. So it's nothing new for Opeth yet. But as I say, I think we need to continue the tour and finish it first, and then we, for sure, we will think about new music.
Now, like I mentioned, there's more bands today than ever before. It's saturated. There is so much stuff out there. And Opeth's had a massive inspiration on a lot of the prog metal bands coming up now. And you can really hear so much of the Opeth influence in there, even though to me the band always stands alone. Do you keep up to date with what's coming out with, newer bands and bands that kind of worship the sound of Opeth?
I'm not that good actually on that. I'm pretty bad looking for new bands today. So I'm not the right person to talk about new bands. But yeah, I know it's a lot of influences from Opeth. Yeah.
Well, let's talk classic shit. What do you been listening to on the classic sense that you just go? What are some of your go-to records in the classic sense? You go, yeah, I got to hear that again.
Well, when it comes to metal, I listen to the old goodies. I mean, for me, it's like Morbid Angel and This Side and those styles,
Yeah.
But yeah, I listen to metal, but it's not the style I listen the most today in the past years. But yeah, when it comes to metal, I go to the old ones.
What is it about those albums that still grab you when you listen to it? Be it Altars of Madness or Deicide self-titled. Like, what are some of those records mean to you when you just hit play and you're just like,
Well, I guess it has a part of nostalgic there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I never heard the album and I listen today, if I be blown away as I did in the past. I don't know, but I still feel the same that I felt when I was 15, 16 when I discovered those albums. I still have the feeling that I had in those days. So yeah, for me it's like going back to the childhood in a sense, but it's a great feeling. I love it.
What is the ultimate death metal album? I know what Jonas from Catatonia and Mike's album is. They've kind of agreed on one, but what's your ultimate death metal album? The one that people should just go and check out?
Well, it have to be either Altars of Madness or Blaze of the Sick for me, because those two were the first ones I heard, and for sure the killer albums. But there is a few good ones out there, but those two for sure good to start with.
And do you want to know what Mike and Jonas' album was?
I guess Michael might be the same. Altars of Madness.
Yes, it is. And Jonas as well. So there you go. All three of you that record. Well. Yeah, to me, I've always said this on the air, that Morbid Angel to me the greatest death metal band ever. A couple of patchy albums, but those records you just can't fault them as well.
Yeah. For me, it's the first 4 records are the good one. Yeah.
So what keeps you inspired as a musician? Because, like I said, you've done a ton of stuff. You've released a ton of music as well, and some groundbreaking stuff as well. Like some of your works with Opeth is just ridiculously amazing. And what sort of keeps you interested in just the craft of playing the bass?
Well, I think what gets me more excited every time is to explore more every time. I mean, I never been the type of musician that likes to stay in a style that I feel comfy and I like to experiment all the time. I like to expand my vision as a musician and learn as a musician. I'm still studying myself sometimes, some harmonies or whatever it is, a theory. I like to learn all the time, and when you learn more, you discover new things. It's a lot of great music out there, and it's a lot of complex music out there. So some music I don't understand because it's that complex or the way it's written. So I like to explore more and more. And I think that's a good fuel for me, at least, to keep going and to experiment and try to do new stuff all the time. That's my goal, at least. I'm not saying that I'm doing it, but it's very difficult to make an original sound in music. But that's my goal all the time, to make some own kind of style in the music.
How do you deal with people citing you as an influence? Because you're very humble about your history of music and your discography. But when someone just says, I'm influenced by Martin Mendez or worship you as the ultimate bass god, how do you deal with the what's the word, fanaticism from other aspiring bass players or musicians?
Well, I mean, of course, it's nice to hear that. But at the same time, I know there is so much I would like to learn. Sometimes I take it as a good compliment, but inside me, it's like I would like to give more to the people, to those guys, because I think it's a lot of good players out there, man. It's a lot of good musicians out there, and somebody to say that to me is. Yeah, it's lovely, but that makes me want to get better, to really give the reason to give him, like, the one who says that he's right. I don't know. It's a strange feeling, but I have a lot of pressure to myself. So. If somebody says that to me, I want to be good for real, and sometimes I don't feel that good.
Do you feel the pressure being in Opeth as well? Because like I said, you've got some hysterical fans. They're just obsessed with this group. I mean, it's kind of untouched. I know Metallica have got their worship fans, but I know Opeth, they just have such, a legion of fans that worship the band through different I guess, eras of the group's sound. So every time a new Opeth record is being recorded, because people just nitpick so much the band's sound because it's so progressive in its changes, you just don't know what you're going to get on most records. How do you feel about do you feel the pressure when album number 12 is coming out, or, like a new record's coming out and you think, shit, what are people going to think?
Well, yes, I feel some pressure, but I don't think I feel the pressure for what people will think when we're recording the record, or rehearsing for the record. It's more for us. I mean, it's more personal, I think. You have like your boundaries that you say that it's always, you want always to do a better album than the last one, always, and that's a pressure inside that I think it's good to have as well, to be aware that you need to do a great job, because the standard is high already. So yes, I think all the guys in the band have their own pressure in that sense, but I don't think we feel the pressure from outside, because I don't think it will be good either to have a pressure from outside, to be stressed in that sense, for the music. So yeah, we feel some pressure for ourselves to develop something better, or something more new, or something new at least. That's the case in Opeth. We try to do something new all the time.
Do you hope some Opeth fans might be curious about what you're doing with White Stones? I know musically it's kind of still along the lines of progressive sort of death metal stuff, but what do you hope they would get out of hearing the new record coming out?
Well, for sure, it's different music for me. It's not like Opeth, but I guess some of our fans will appreciate it for sure, I guess. Especially the ones that have been from the beginning and are used to this style of vocals and more heavy music. But overall, I hope some people like it for sure. It's different, but it's still metal.
Well, we can get you to choose one of your favorite songs from the brand new record that just want to confirm here that's coming out on the 27th of August, called Dancing into Oblivion. So yeah, your favorite White Stones track. We can start with that.
Um, that's a tough one. I'm happy with the whole album, really, but I will say maybe the song Iron Titans is the longest one in the record and maybe the most proggy one. Um, but I really like this. It's really fun to play that one. Maybe it's the most, not technical, but maybe the most playful one in the album. Yeah, it's a nice tone, I think.
And your favorite Opeth track from any of the catalog? One that just sticks out where you just go, yeah, that was a pretty good,
Oof,
there's good bass licks on that.
there's too many, but that changed time to time, really. But one of my faves might be songs like Hex Process from Heritage, or even Nepent from Heritage as well. But I enjoy everything, man. In the past tours we were bringing back songs like Leper Affinity from Blackwater Park, and it's really fun to play as well. So yeah, there are too many. I don't know.
Well, there's a few to choose from. And just quickly, are you still got the RES project, RES, going with Mr. Axenrot?
Well, that's pretty much on ice right now. Nothing happens with that today, but we'll see in the future. I don't know what's going to happen. Right now, I'm in Barcelona, so we're not in the same country anymore, so it's more difficult to get together and do stuff. And I'm pretty busy with White Stones as well. And so I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future.
Before you go, because like I said, we still don't know what's going to happen in the future in a COVID world. I guess what are your predictions about how things will be once this kind of changes, moving forward as a touring musician? Do you have any inside word on how things are going to be shaping up when it comes to traveling and touring?
No, we don't know yet exactly. We have plans, maybe from the end of the year, but all depends because we are even dealing with the vaccines now, and for example, here in Spain, it's different. The law from the vaccine. I had the COVID, and I cannot take the vaccine until 6 months have passed from I had the COVID. So yeah, we need to get all these things sorted before we can announce a tour 100%, because it's a bit unclear everything right now. But we have plans. I mean, we hope to start touring soon, but all depends, of course. Nobody really knows exactly what's going to happen.
I know. It's a good question of when we're going to be able to get out of our country and when you're allowed to come back in. It's a fortress, So, just look after yourself, Mr. Mendez.
Cool, man.
Let's check out some White Stones and, of course, some Opeth. Mendez in the house. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, man.